Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Cutting Through the Bullshit. I am your host, Dr. Stephanie Snyder, and I am a high performance mentor. Through my unique blend of strategy, mindset, and intuition, I help men and women to cut through the BS in order to create the life and business they desire. So, I didn't really know what I was going to talk about today. And then I recalled a conversation I was having with a client yesterday. And you've probably heard this from me a bunch, but we are the things that we believe. We are the things that we tell ourselves repeatedly. Now, there are those times where we have an intrusive thought come in and you're like, whoa, hold up, where the heck did that come from, right? But if we constantly tell ourselves something and it's on repeat, we believe those things to be true. So yesterday I was chatting with one of my clients, and she is working on her dissertation for her doctorate of education. And I've been working with her for quite some time, and it feels like there is constantly something that comes up and interrupts her, right? And they seem to be fairly small things. Some of them are a bit bigger, but she really struggles with navigating staying consistent with something. And so when I had reached out to her yesterday, I said, "How is it going this week? What are you working on?" And she said, "Oh, it's been a bad week. It feels like something always happens." And I said, "Well, you're absolutely right. There will always be something that happens." I said, "But when you think about working on your dissertation, what are you saying to yourself?" And she said, "Well, I'm telling myself that, there's not enough time to do it. Any progress I make right now isn't even going to be worth it. It doesn't even make any sense to try to start something." And I said, "Okay." I said, all of those can feel really true. I said, "But none of them are actually helping you get closer to your goal." And so I said, "What could you say to yourself instead?" And she said, "Well, when it comes up," she said, "I could say, you know, a little bit is better than nothing." Right? And this is actually how you get started with something, because our ego will tell us that we don't have the time for the thing. We don't have the time, we don't have the money, we don't have the energy, right? Those are our go-to excuses. And they're excuses. It is what it is, right? And they are our go-tos, and we rely on them because we're like, "Oh, actually, you know what? I don't have the time to do it." And I've said this to you before, I'm going to call bullshit. If you don't have the time for it, it is simply because it's not a priority for you. So stop using time as an excuse. It's not serving you. Now, if it's a priority and it's important to you, I guarantee you're going to find the time to do it. Here's the caveat though. We don't always prioritize the things that are going to get us where we want to go. We prioritize the easy thing, the thing that doesn't create so much resistance. We're like, I'm going to Netflix and chill. That takes up way less energy than going to the gym and making sure that I'm healthy for whatever it is, right? Later on down the road. Okay. So your excuses will absolutely win. And the funniest part about all of this is they're justified. We can justify that excuse until we're blue in the face. You just can. You're great at it. However, you can also justify a thing that's going to get you where you want to go. And this is where I talked about on a previous episode, you have to slow down long enough to see what actions, what beliefs and actions are actually creating your future. Because it is the things that you do right now in this very moment that are actually going to create your future, your financial future, your health future, your relationship future, right? Like the things that you are doing right now are creating that future. And the only thing that you can actually change is right now. Yes, you can change the way that you look at things in the past, which is actually really quite helpful. You can make situations work for you, previous situations work for you, by shifting your mindset on it. But all of it takes place right now in this current moment. So when my student will invariably get the, Oh, you don't have enough time. Oh, work was too stressful. Oh, you didn't do this. Oh, you didn't do that. We always have a choice where we can say, you know what? No, I can spend 5 minutes on this. You can spend 5 minutes on something. I'm at about the 5 minute mark of this podcast right now, right? I had a million reasons as to why I didn't have the time to sit down and record this podcast. A million reasons. And I said, you know what? Nope, this is a priority. I'm going to get it done. It's going to happen, right? And I have a whole bunch of noise in the background, and you're totally fine. But it's 5 minutes. 5 minutes is easy to do. Easy to do. Because once you're in 5 minutes, you're like, oh, well, I already did 5 minutes. This is how I treat myself when I don't want to work out. Can I work out for 5 minutes? Yes. 5 minutes into it, I'm like, well, I'm already 5 minutes into it. I might as well just finish my workout. Right? And that helps you to build the trust with yourself so that you actually can start to shift those beliefs and you start to believe you do have time for the things that matter. Instead of saying, oh, well, I don't have any time. Because if it's important to you, you do have the time for it. If it's not important to you, then it's not a priority. And the best way to switch that is to stop lying to yourself about it. Feels a little bit harsh. I know. But sometimes that will create awareness around it, right? So if you're wondering why things are out of whack, why you're not progressing the way that you want to, why you're not reaching your goals, look and see where it is that you're spending your time and your resources. Check in with your priorities. Are they actually in line with what you want, or are they simply on automatic? And you're just going through the motions and doing all the things that you did before, because a lot of us are. And that's okay. But catching yourself and going, okay, actually, you know what? This pattern didn't work out for me before. Let's switch it. Let's change it. On the previous episode, you heard me talk with Dr. Ray, and he talks about shifting one hitting belief, right? It just takes one belief to shift all of that. And in order to do that, you do have to slow down a little bit and pay attention to it. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet today. I do have a bunch of things to do, but I did want to come on here and make sure I got this podcast out. So if you are struggling with the things that you are saying to yourselves, if they are not helping you, capture one of them and decide whether or not that's true. Is this true for me? Well, it might feel like it, but do you want it to be true? Well, if not, then you can rewrite it. This is the beauty of things. You can always redefine and reinvent yourself. So I'm sending you so much love. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. And as always, be you, because the world needs more of you. Bye.